Hello, my name is Pix Pendragon. My name wasn't always Pix Pendragon, though. You see, I am a trans man. That means I am a transgender individual who identifies as a man. More specifically, I am a trans masculine individual, and I think of myself as a man. I have he, him pronouns, and I want to be perceived and lived as a man. I was assigned female at birth, but in my 30s, I did some soul searching, and I discovered that I am transgender. I embarked on the arduous and sometimes fraught journey of transitioning female to male. Not everyone who identifies as transgender wants to transition, however. You see, it took me many years to arrive at my current state of knowledge and life experience. In the beginning, I didn't know I wanted to transition at all. In the beginning, I identified as non binary. The LGBT, or Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, and Trans Foundation, has a pretty succinct definition of what it means to not only be transgender, but non binary. They say, when we use the word transgender, we are referring to an inclusive umbrella term that consists of binary trans people, trans men and trans women, as well as non binary people and people who cross dress. Non binary people feel their gender identity cannot be defined within the margins of gender binary. Instead, they understand their gender in a way that goes beyond simply identifying as either a man or a woman. As I was saying, I started out thinking I fell outside the gender binary and slowly came to recognize with time and hormones and surgery that I was always a man inside. Like the LGBT Foundation says, however, not all transgender people feel this way. I knew I wanted to work with the LGBTQIA plus population from the moment I set foot in my first gender clinic. You see, I have been with three thus far in my journey, and the most prevailing experience I've had throughout these three gender clinics is that a lot of cisgender individuals are providing care for the transgender population. I particularly want to focus on providing care for transgender people across the spectrum of age and any other demographic, whether they want to transition or not. You see, transgender people make up about 1% of the population. But this is a demographic that is shifting and changing every day. Transgender people have existed across the world for a very, very long time. Transgender people have always existed. Donald Trump and other conservatives might have you believe that this is an epidemic and a blight on society. But trans people just want to exist and live and thrive, just like any other person. Much of the rhetoric of conservatives in this and many other countries might have you believe that transgenderism is a fad and a recent thing. But those who know better would tell you that across all demographics, there have always been transgender individuals, and they have only ever wanted one thing: to live their lives as well as any other person. I was 35 when I started to question my gender. Like many people during the pandemic of COVID-19, I started questioning everything. I was finally in my 30s diagnosed with autism. I was also diagnosed with myalgic encephalitis, or chronic fatigue syndrome, and fibromyalgia, and I was out of work. I didn't know if I would ever be able to work again, and my days were a cloud of darkness and unbearable fatigue and pain. Slowly, I regained some strength and was able to work again. But it took 3 years and a lot of fortitude. The medical system failed me in a lot of ways during that time. And I thought to myself that if I got better, I wanted to make a difference. So I started working again, and I transitioned slowly over a period of 4 years now. I want to be a beacon of knowledge for people like me, but it will not be easy in these times of healthcare mistrust and fear. With conservative fear mongering on the rise and rights being questioned and taken away, it will be tough work. This is work that I'm willing and able to do. I want to foster trust and faith in what a healthcare system could look like for transgender people on the horizon. We cannot let the old recycled rhetoric of the AIDS crisis overshadow the work that so many advocates of the past and present have fought so hard to claw out rights for not only living, but for thriving. It is my belief that in the future, more transgender individuals must be on the forefront of healthcare for not only visibility, but for vitality. Thank you.